why am I on the hook for paying their agent commission? Because that's their job, that's their professional. Why should I pay for it? Absolutely not. I'm not going to pay anything. You can tell them to go pound sand. It's on their own. New rules in town. I don't have to pay their buyer's agent. So we are 3 months after the NAR settlement, and how are things shaken out? Well, I'm here to tell you that number one, buyers are still hiring agents, sellers are still hiring agents, and definitely we are seeing that sellers are paying for buyer agent commissions. So I'm going to break that down for you, what we're seeing in the market right now. So it was interesting. I took a couple of listings right as the NAR market was changing. And so when I took those listings in California, we only take the commission of the listing agent. And then when a buyer submits an offer, then the buyer's agent commission is then negotiated at the time of that offer. So it used to be that when a seller would hire a listing agent, that the listing agent and the buyer's agent commission was all negotiated in a listing contract. Disclaimer here, if you're listing throughout the country, different states have adopted the terms a little differently. So I'm definitely speaking to California and whatever states are kind of similar to California. But nevertheless, so I took a couple of listings that were, just the real estate agent or the listing agent commission. And then I explained to my clients that there's a good chance that when we get an offer, that the buyers are going to ask my clients to pay their agent commission. My clients responded just like I would. I'd be like, why am I on the hook for paying their agent commission? Because that's their job, that's their professional. Why should I pay for it? Very fair question. I completely get it. So the way that it played out in some of these listings is the buyers would then present an offer, and in that offer, they would say, we would like for the seller to contribute a certain amount of, percentage to pay their agent. So seller number one said, absolutely not. I'm not going to pay anything. You can tell them to go pound sand. It's on their own. New rules in town. I don't have to pay their buyer's agent. So the buyers then walked away because they didn't have the money to pay for the down payment and to pay for their closing costs and to pay for their agent. So the buyers pulled out and canceled. The house sat on the market and we had to reduce the price. And then we got another offer. And my clients countered them back that they would pay 50%. All right, we're going to share in the cost of your buyer's agent. Those buyers also walked away because they just didn't have the money to cover it. So then we sat on the market some more and we had to reduce the price again. Now we are currently in escrow and we're going to be closing here probably in the next week. And we are in escrow right now for $25,000 less than what we were originally priced. And my clients are paying the full commission to the buyer's agent. This is one example, but this is the trend we're seeing. I have another listing, kind of very similar, launched at the same time, put it on the market, offer comes over. Will the seller pay the buyer's agent? Seller says no, buyer walks. Now we're kind of sitting. So then I've got other listings where if the buyer asked the seller to pay for the buyer's agent commission, clients agreed, and they've already sold. So what we're seeing is that buyers do not have the funds to pay for their buyer's agent. Now, as a seller, you might be like, well, that's not my problem. I mean, then guess what? I guess they can't afford to buy my house. But here's the thing. Let me paint the whole picture for you. So, number one, as a home seller, in the last 5 years, nationally speaking, prices have appreciated 39%. You're sitting here on almost a 40% price appreciation. Buyers are paying 40% more for your house, statistically speaking, over the United States in the last 5 years. So they're paying a massive premium because home prices have never been this high. So that's number one. Number two, they're paying an interest rate that is probably close to 3 times what you've got. If you're like most home sellers, you're sitting on a 2-ish or 3-ish% interest rate, and they're paying, at least double that, maybe triple that. So they're paying a lot more money for your house. They're paying a lot more money to borrow money to purchase your house. And the cash that they have to bring to close is at an all-time high. They've already got to put up, pony up maybe a couple 20% of the increased value, plus the closing costs, plus they have to be able to afford a home loan that they can qualify for. So just a couple of statistics to kind of bring this home. In 2012, nationally speaking, the average median priced house payment, including principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, was $800. That was the national average. In 2024, it is $2,490, almost $2,500. That is a 311% increase in house payment, nationally speaking. If you're in California, those figures are $1,410 a month was an average house payment in 2012. And in 2024, it's 5,210. So it's gone up 370% in California. So the median price home, back in 2012, median price home, or minimum income rather, for a median priced home was only $32,000. And in 2024, it's $99,000. It's gone up 211%. So let's just keep in mind that how stretched home buyers are in how much they have to pay for the house, how much they have to pay to borrow the money, and how difficult it is now to be able to qualify for a home loan. I mean, we're talking, if it's, say an $800,000 house, with a 20% down and property taxes and whatnot. I mean, they're having to bring in about 200 grand to purchase the house as a down payment and basically cash to close. And, they're looking at about a $5,500 a month house payment, give or take. So then to stack on top of that commission, and now they've got to pony up an additional however much money to pay their agent, it's just cost prohibitive for a lot of people. I mean, just plain and simple. It's not about what's their responsibility, what's your responsibility. I mean, it just flat out is cost prohibitive. And so that's what we've seen has become kind of the trend in the market is buyers can't afford it, and buyers are walking away, and buyers are going and purchasing homes where sellers are willing to help them out a little bit. And as a seller, you've enjoyed that price appreciation. There's a good chance you're going to have to go buy a home as well. So just think twice before you counter that out and before you say absolutely not, because it may be that you actually do end up paying the price for that in price reductions, length on market, and that sort of thing. So hopefully this helps. It will be interesting to see how the trend continues. And especially, we've got a lot going on. I mean, real estate's always rocking and rolling. We've got a whole new administration now. What's going to happen with interest rates? That's where all of our eyes are. So it will be interesting to see. But in the meantime, I will be sharing whatever I find out while I'm out there on the streets. So please continue to like, subscribe, and drop your comments and questions below, because I do read each and every one of them. All right, have a good one.